Hi, my name's Chris Nelney and I work in the clearing department at First Point USA. My main role at First Point is to promote clients to coaches in America and deal with the feedback from there and secure a scholarship place for them. I would say the most enjoyable part of the job for myself is helping boys through something that I went through myself not too long ago. So I know all the feelings that they're going through, so I know the excitement, the nerves, everything that goes with it. So helping them through that right throughout the whole year, and then ultimately placing them at their chosen university, and then sending them off and seeing them off to America is good as well, and giving a bit of advice and a bit of feedback on my experience and giving them advice, as I say, on how they can enjoy their experience out there. A day-to-day role for myself would be to promote clients to coaches in America. And then if there's a coach interested, maybe go between the client and the coach and try and kind of thrash out a deal, if you like, and kind of move the process forward from there. A typical client game, we'll get down before the boys, before registration, and we'll set up the strips and get all the equipment ready, and then we'll get the boys into the changing room, just explain a bit about what's going to be happening on the day, and put them into the teams and then get a warm up and obviously have the games. The biggest bit of advice I would give would be to clients is just to play your own game and play the simple pass. The client games are quite important. A lot of the coaches will speak to ourselves and myself and the other guys in the clearing department, and they'll take feedback and advice on players, but ultimately the footage is a big thing that the coaches will look to when they're recruiting. So the client games are very important. So I'd encourage clients to be positive and prepare well for the games, and really view it as a cup final, a big game, so that when they turn up in the morning, they're mentally preparing themselves and they put in a good performance. A lot of guys come down and maybe they're not up for the game, and that will come across, or they maybe have a bad attitude, and that will come across in the footage. But if you put in a good performance on the day and you work hard and you show the right qualities, then that comes across in the video footage. So I encourage clients to do that. I initially found out about First Point as I was a client myself. First Point was recommended to me by a friend of a friend. So I went through First Point, and then once I came back from my time out in America, I spoke to Andrew Keane and he offered me a job. Well, actually now it was a postgrad, so I played for Glasgow University. And I graduated from Glasgow as well, so that was my kind of athletic and academic background. I think I'd been at Glasgow University for 4 years, and I graduated from there. And what was appealing for me about the American route was the fact that I could couple my academics with my football as well. I'd worked hard at my time in university in Scotland, and I wanted to give my football an opportunity to see how I could develop that, and America provided that opportunity for me. To obviously continue my academics along with the football. I went to Freed-Hardeman University in Tennessee, and my degree was a Masters in Education. I didn't actually sit the SAT exam, I sat what's called the GMAT exam because I was a graduate student. That was a graduate exam for entrance into a business school, because I was also speaking to another coach and I would have been doing a business masters. So I'd done the GMAT test, and the biggest bit of advice I would give is just revise as much as possible. Any free time you have, just make sure you're revising. My brother's friend as well, he actually helped me out with the maths section because I was quite weak on that. So that was good of him, and that helped me out a lot as well. The university was a little bit smaller than what I'd expected. I came from Glasgow, which had been 20,000 students in the middle of a city centre. Freed-Hardeman was about 2,500 students in a small town in the south of America, Tennessee. So it was a little bit different from that sense. But the facilities themselves, the soccer field was excellent. The gym was small, but it had everything that you needed, and it was 2 gyms as well. So the facilities were very good, and I would say it was better than what I'd been used to. It's a kind of cliche that in the south then everyone's a lot friendlier, and so there's a family feel to it, but it was very true in my experience that all the guys, when I first went there in the team, they were very friendly, and they were always inviting you to their family's house at the weekend. So I thought it was really easy to make friends. I was a little bit older than some of our clients now, so I was a bit more experienced. I'd done a bit of travelling in my time undergrad. I suppose my main concern was the level of football. I was slightly concerned that would I be good enough? Would I get a starting place right away? And because I was only going to be able to play for 1 year as a postgrad, then I wanted to make sure that I was going to be good enough straight away, so I wouldn't sit on the bench for a few games. Yeah, when I first went there, the guys in the team helped me out a lot. Other internationals that were there. I spoke to them and they helped me set up a bank account, as did the international admissions office. And from there I just ended up getting a job with the Indian lad in the team. He got my job in facilities. It was nothing glamorous by any manner of means. It was picking up trash, but it was fine. It paid the bills, so no problem. I actually got a job on campus. I think I had to pay roughly about $4,000 towards my scholarship, and I paid that up front from savings I'd had. But for spending money when I was over, then I got a job on campus, and that gave me enough just to get by and go out for a meal with the guys or whatever. I think it was good because in my team, we had a guy from India, we had a guy from Germany, a guy from Peru, a guy from Australia, Costa Rica, myself from the UK. So you got to meet a lot of different people from a lot of different cultures and backgrounds. So it kind of broadened your horizons in that sense, and it was a good learning experience for me. And the guys in the team were really friendly, great guys. I still speak to a lot of them today. The friendships and the relationships that I built up would definitely be the best thing that's from my time in America. The culture was a big change for myself. Two of my best friends were from Kentucky, so for Thanksgiving we went to their grandma's house in Kentucky, and that was a bit of experience. It was quite traditional. Their grandma was actually first generation American Indian, so they were mountain folk, and we went to their hut in the forest, and it was, as I say, quite traditional. All the women would make the dinner, and then all the guys would go hunting before dinner, so we actually went out and hunted before the Thanksgiving dinner, so that was good. That was a kind of American culture. That was good fun. That's something that I would say to every client that goes over is just to throw yourself into the American environment, throw yourself into their culture. If that's what they do, then get involved with it. The big benefit, as I mentioned earlier, would be the fact that you can couple your education with your sport. There's a lot of guys that maybe they're football players or they're tennis players and they want to focus on their sport, but they're not allowed to do that back home. So they go abroad, and it means they can focus on their sport, but at the same time, can get a degree out of it as well. So that that's a big plus. And moving away from home at the age of 18 or whenever it might be, then it's a big kind of life experience as well for you. As I say, meeting lots of different people from different cultures and different backgrounds. It's a all-round great experience for anyone that's wanting to go out. The best advice I would give is in America you are regarded as a student athlete, so the student does come first, so you have to focus on your grades as well, and that is the big thing. Ultimately the chances are of you becoming a professional in your sport are kind of slim, so the degree is what's going to carry you forward. So I would advise people to focus on their academics. I would recommend First Point to others. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. I don't think the experience in America is necessarily for everyone. I think there's some people that that could choose to do it themselves, but for a lot of clients we have, and a lot of guys that are looking to do it and maybe don't go through First Point, then I think they would be better going through First Point. There's clients that you can really look back on their file and see what they've went to, and you genuinely do feel as if First Point's made a difference to their experience and to the college and the scholarship that they've ultimately chosen.